student in Dr. Radosh's broadcasting class at Alvernia University. We have partnered with Berks Weekly to do live interviews on Facebook. Here with me today is Pam Gockley of the Camel Project.
Thank you for having me on today, Richard.
Of course, of course. So why is the organization named the Camel Project?
Well, the Camel Project was started in 2018 to really combat bullying, and I was bullied a lot in high school. So Camel was my nickname, and it was not a term of endearment, but it is now. So
Okay.
I took the word back. Camel is our word, and it means fun.
Okay. So why are you so passionate about the issue of bullying?
Well, it happened to me personally,
Okay.
but it's still happening. So as an adult, it is inconceivable to me that we have not addressed the bullying behaviors. And what people fail to understand is the bullying behavior is learned. There's no bullying gene. So these behaviors that our children exhibit, we have suicide and homicide are the leading cause of death of our students, and violence. There was 346 school shootings last year. So we have a problem, and as adults, we have to get the will and the education and the knowledge of how to address it, not perpetuate it, but also build that awareness around this topic.
Okay. What is the Camel Caravan?
So the the Camel Caravan, it makes me smile every time I see it. It's a 40-foot RV. It's an awareness bus. And I always say it's large, loud, and obnoxious, just like me.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So how hard is it to combat cyberbullying with the rise of technology?
Well, cyberbullying is lethal, and I don't know how else to say it. Our kids are dying. We just had another suicide in this county by a student, and if we don't take the time to understand how to address it, we feel strongly that if we address the face-to-face and we are able to de-escalate the disputes, it'll never make it to cyber. So if we reduce cyberbullying by 50% because we address bullying face-to-face, I think that's a really good start. Cyberbullying is not going to go away until we address the main root causes of it.
Okay. With how the world has evolved over the past 15 to 20 years with the rise of technology and all that, would you say it is more difficult to combat bullying nowadays than it would be 15 to 20 years ago?
I think so, because when I was going to school, when you left school, you were done. There was you unhooked. You were able to go out and play with your, the neighbors, and there was no interrupters by the cell phones. And I have to go here. The adults are the worst role models. And in the city of Reading, we hear a lot about, we have underserved and there's economy, in crisis, and kids don't have enough money. The kids don't have enough role models, and role modeling costs zero. So we usually challenge the adults, and they're not really open sometimes to that challenge of how their words and their behaviors are escalating the bullying with our children. It goes straight down, especially with the political environment right now. This is totally affecting our kids. So everything you say negative about one candidate or the other is going right into our kids. And I challenge people to stop and think about what they're saying before it comes out of their mouth, because that is affecting our kids.
Which leads into my next question of, as an adult, what can an adult do to step up and be a role model and show kids that bullying's not right?
Well, and one thing when we do our training with the adults, it's like when you have lettuce in your teeth, someone needs to tell you, right? So we need adults who have more critical thinking skills, and that they're able to build that awareness so they get into a growth mindset, not a fixed mindset, and really take this empathy path to understand their impact of their words and their actions before they do them. So they have to literally step back and understand if what they're doing is generational, is it a cultural issue? Do you know there's not a word for bullying in the Spanish language? There is not a word. So we have a lot of work to do. but that the Camel Project, we're out there just trying to build awareness, trying to bring this to front of mind, but there are solutions, and sometimes people give up because they don't think there's things they can do. There are skills, there are techniques. We work with school districts, the adults, we train the adults, we work with the kids. We then ask the kids to hold the adults accountable. So we flip the script a little bit, but we have a problem, and unless we're willing to step up and take some personal accountability. Reading School District has 18,000 students, and they're all mine. And when you think of them in that terms, you will address these issues a little bit differently.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, in schools, bullying is obviously a main issue in every school district. What can a school district do, or the adults in the school district do, to step up and combat it and stop bullying, or try to prevent it?
Yeah, again, it's awareness. We have to get out of the denial piece. Putting the "No Place for Hate" banner on the wall really is not, doing too much.
Takes more action.
So it's an action. It is you are absolutely correct. So there are other trainings, but we are the only one that trains specifically around the bullying behavior for adults to understand the warning signs, the signs and symptoms, and we give them the skills and techniques to not perpetuate the behavior, but address it in a very instructions and have those steps. And with the last 300 school shootings, according to the data, 100 of them were done because of disputes that were not de-escalated. And those are things we hear. So we're either not hearing it, or we're hearing it and ignoring it because we don't know what to do. We teach those skills and those techniques in our training, and then we go back into the school for the rest of the school year to work with the students.
Which is awesome. So I noticed on your the Camel Project website, you guys have a lot of sponsors. Would you mind expanding on that?
Yeah, so we're 100% funded by community donations. We have Chalkpalooza, Chalk and Bubble Festival. We have a 5K Camel Trot that's just actually on Sunday, on November 3rd. And we operate on donations. We were lucky enough to receive a grant from the state through the PCCD, a small grant. So we're starting to get not only awareness, but support, because people are seeing our kids are literally dying.
Yeah, which is a shame. So you talked about the grant, and you recently received a reward from the Caring Foundation. What is that, and how has that helped you?
Absolutely.
Help the company?
We were humbled because that was the first national organization to really acknowledge that bullying is a core issue, that bullying behavior is an issue that causes suicide, addiction, abuse, racism is all steeped in the bullying behavior. So that was the first national organization to actually acknowledge that. We had hundreds of people reach out to us. We're now working with the Girl Scouts. We're working with Big Brothers, Big Sisters. We train the Berks County juvenile probation officers on how to de-escalate when a bullying behavior in real time needs to be addressed.
And how can anybody in the community get involved to help combat the situation or the issue of bullying?
Well, and we need to step up and be accountable. So we have a website, thecamelproject.org. We have a Facebook page. Reach out to us. We're always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for donations. We're always looking for folks who can lend us their time and talent as well. We're starting to grow, and we can always use some support.
You mentioned training for adults to help be a better role model. What would that training be like? What's considered the training?
So we have a 3-hour training. I created it because there was none available. We have it trademarked. It's called Certified Prevention Specialist. It's a 3-hour training. We offer them usually 4 times a year. And the title is Deconstructing the Culture of Bullying, Preventing Violence in Our Communities.
Awesome. And is there any, you said the 5K Trot, which is coming up Sunday. Is there any other big upcoming events you would like to list or notice?
So we have May 10th is the Chalkpalooza in the city of Reading, and then September, I believe it's 7th, we have one in Kutztown, which if you don't want to have fun, don't come. We like to have fun.
Honesty. All right, well, thank you, Pam Gockley. I really appreciate it. I'm Richard Wynne. Thank you for watching Facebook Live on Berks Weekly, and see you next Friday.